pressure, right, that comes from having an account that you're accountable for everything you say on. And I started an anonymous account just to experiment with ideas originally, right? Because I didn't realize how much I was restricting my space of thoughts until I sort of had the opportunity to let go. In a sense, restricting your speech back propagates to restricting your thoughts, right? And by creating an anonymous account, it seemed like I had unclaimed some variables in my brain and suddenly could explore a much wider parameter space of thoughts.
Just going on that, isn't that interesting? That one of the things that people often talk about is that when there's pressure and constraints on speech, it somehow leads to constraints on thought. Even though it doesn't have to, we can think it's thoughts inside our head. But somehow it creates these walls around thought.
Yeah. That's sort of the basis of our movement, is we were seeing a tendency towards constraint, reduction or suppression of variance in every aspect of life, whether it's thought, how to run a company, how to organize humans, how to do AI research. In general, we believe that maintaining variance ensures that the system is adaptive, right? Maintaining healthy competition in marketplaces of ideas, of companies, products, cultures, governments, currencies, is the way forward, because the system always adapts to assign resources to the configurations that lead to its growth. And the fundamental basis for the movement is this sort of realization that life is a sort of fire that seeks out free energy in the universe and seeks to grow, right? And that growth is fundamental to life. And you see this in the equations, actually, about equilibrium thermodynamics. You see that path of trajectories of configurations of matter that are better at this view of designing or engineering devices that harness that physics, and trying to understand the world through the lens of thermodynamics has been sort of a synergy between my two identities over the past, and we can make it so. And if you believe in it, you believe that the future will be better, and you believe you have agency to make it happen, you're actually increasing the likelihood of that better future happening. And so I sort of felt a response.
So some ideas, and I suppose both pessimism and optimism are such ideas, that if you internalize them, you in part make that idea a reality. So both optimism and pessimism are interesting things about humans. And you talked about, are you also...
It's amazing how it can affect the little, like snow, which is another name.
Wouldn't it be funny if I'm basically...
That'd be amazing.
Don't like it out that way.
the right to point that out, and just have the ideas that we put out evaluated for themselves. Ultimately, that's why I created an anonymous account, is to have my ideas evaluated for themselves, uncorrelated from my track record, my job, or status, from having done things in the past, and to me start an account from zero to large following, um, in a way that wasn't dependent on my identity and or achievements. That was very fulfilling, right? It's kind of like new game plus in a video game. You restart the video game with your knowledge of how to beat it, maybe some tools, or you restart the video game from scratch, right? And I think to have a truly efficient marketplace of ideas and path to art, we need the freedom of expression, and I think that anonymity